Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Individual Experience. So, yesterday, with all the madness that was happening, that was going on, all of the, the toilet getting clogged up and, water all over the bathroom and in the hallway, uh, again, the microwave and the radio wave frequency attacks with silent sound. You have Pam and the kids again staring at my unk chain. All right, show you guys. They will constantly at times target us, microwave us, and then have the kids just stare at my unk. Right, and again, it's something that I notice that will happen after a blitz, after the psychological attacks. Right. Also, they started to send me subliminal message about blocking me. So, for example, I was watching a video, and the video mentioned a blockage or something. The word, had the word blocking. It was either blocking or blockage or something like that, right? And then they start, as I said, block again. You hear the car honk. They started doing that. Now, here's the thing. So, like I talked about before, how they were messing with my, I use Affirm from time to time to purchase certain items because, they give you low monthly payments up to a year, right, to pay it off, right? Usually your payments are like anywhere from like $12 or $10, depending on what it is, to, I think the most I've ever had to pay off a month was like $40 a month, right? And that was for 12 months. So it's just a more convenient way of purchasing something. So, and again, I've been using Affirm for years. Never had an issue until, like I said, they started targeting me and trying to ruin my credit. After they started attacking certain store credits stores that I have credit with, they started attacking it online where I can't pay my my bills and stuff like that. And particularly when they start targeting me a lot, I tend to forget, right? Or, for example, I remember one time when, when I was paying off bills, and I ended up like paying the same bill like 2 times. And I'm like, how did that happen? Right? Because they don't give you an update. And then so lately, what I've seen a lot of this, other online stores have been doing, or stores that have online stores, is also giving, if you can't get into the account, they will have another way for you to pay your bill, right? But again, not every site does that. So a lot of those stores are beginning to understand what's going on, right? Because I've seen that happening. I've seen that, many times, right, over the past couple months. And again, this is fairly new, what they started doing. So I guess they realized that, yeah, this is, they're being attacked. And like I said, this is not a foreign entity that's doing this. This is the U.S. government. This is its agencies, the security agencies, even law enforcement agencies would engage in this sort of practice and behavior, particularly when they are targeting certain types of individuals or certain individuals, right? So I wanted to get a 4 terabyte hard drive, which was like, for me to back up all of to have an additional backup for my videos, right? Because again, they constantly trying to sabotage my videos, and I just want to make sure that I have all my videos at least back up in two different drives, so that way, if they might do something to affect one of the drives, I still have another drive that has video on it. It's very important for TIs that we back up all our documents when it comes to documenting this, because what they will do, they will sabotage your electronic devices, right? And so if you're exposing what it is that they're doing, they have to try to get rid of whatever documentation you're documenting about your targeting. And so, I went to pay with Affirm, and I know I had, because it tells you how much, like spending, they call it spending powers you have, right? Way more than what the item costs. But I noticed that when I try to make the purchase, it's like they want me to pay the majority of it. And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I've never had to. I've used Affirm for years, right? if I make a payment I mean, if I make a purchase and the purchase is less than my spending power, they never ask me to pay the majority of it. So why is it that they're doing it now? Why is it that they're doing it now? Again, this is what they do. They're constantly manipulating things online. Again, cognitive attacks, right? Cognitive warfare, using online services, attacking online services to affect you, the targeted individual or the targeted group. You know, this is like I keep saying it. This is they're constantly doing this stuff, constantly. It never stops, right? And so even today, this morning, when I got back in the house, you know, Pam was taking a shower, have you, and I came to lay back down, you know, because I got up around 6:30, right, while she's still sleeping. Okay, and see, then this is the thing, is that when I'm not here, she has to get up at that time, and she hates doing that. She would rather lay in bed, right? Like you know, it's funny because she was talking about teamwork, right? When I'm here, when I used to be here, most of the time, I get up every morning, make the kids breakfast, iron their clothes, make sure that they dress out the house. Okay, with my son, you know, make sure he gets to school on time. Which today he left a little bit, not too late, you know. He left before 8, but because his mother told him he can be in the morning. And when I came back, I had to tell. I said, "You need to stop doing this. You need to stop telling the kids to be in the morning, because it takes away, you know, 20 minutes, half an hour from them leaving the house at a decent time, particularly Ethan, because he goes to school on his own." So when I was downstairs doing laundry, like I said, he should have been taking a shower after he finished his homework. But she tells him, so that he gets up this morning. I had to wake him this morning at around 6:40. I woke him up, and he didn't get out of bed until I had to chase him out of bed at like 7 o'clock. So it took him 20 minutes, right? And I'm making breakfast, and I kept going back. Hey, you need to get up. You need to get up. That's 20 minutes wasted. If he had bed last night, he would have been out of here by 7:30. And I had to tell her, I said, why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep doing that when I keep telling you, stop doing it? Particularly if you let him do it when I'm not here. That's why, one of the reasons why he gets to school, actually not one of the, that's the reason why he gets to school late most of the time. Right? Not most of the time, but some of the time. Most of the time is because she rather lay in bed, you know, hitting the snooze button, okay, until then she realized, it's late and I gotta go move the car. Not that I'm getting up to make sure the kids get to school on time. It's no, I'm getting up because I don't want to get a ticket for the car. And then it's like, oh shit, the kids are always an afterthought when it comes to getting them out of the house on time. They're always the afterthought. You know? Hear them using the sirens again. You know, and it's ridiculous. So I got back in the house, went to lay down, right? She comes into the bedroom, screams, I didn't know you was here. I said, yeah, because I remember. I said, like, hi, I went to take Elizabeth to school. You know, it doesn't take me that long, right? You know, and again, it's like, you know, so I'm telling her, I'm like, listen, man, you need to stop doing that. You need to stop doing that, because you are making, you constantly, like yesterday, I don't understand why the kids stayed home yesterday. I don't understand that. Why the kids stayed home yesterday? When I got here, the kids were home. You know, I understand, you know, like Alyssa, Monday, the boys and girls, they had to do an exercise drills, and then she had gymnastics, so she said her hips was hurting her, her side was hurting her. And I understand that, but Ethan should not have been home. He should not have been home. Okay? But again, why? Because she stayed up late. She stayed up late. You know? And I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? So she was talking about teamwork. So I got up this morning, made the kids breakfast, right? I was busy, you know, I was eating, making a list of breakfast, eating breakfast. I made sure Ethan take a shower, have you. And I woke her up at 7 o'clock. She could have got up and she could have been like, you know what, let me iron Alyssa's clothes, right? Nope. But I tell you what, if she gets up early and I'm sleeping, right? If she makes them breakfast, she's waking me up to iron their clothes. Or she's waking me up to make breakfast, right? While she's, you know, but again, this rarely happens. But when it does happen, this is what she does. And I have to remind her, I say, you know what, you only talk about teamwork when it's convenient for you. But if it's me, I have to do everything, right? So like I said, I don't bitch on her about that because I'm used to her about that shit. But again, what pisses me off again is just her inability to adapt, to say, listen, I can't be doing the kids here during the school night because they don't go to bed until after 12 minutes to 1, right? And then they have school the next morning, and then they're tired, and she's wondering why they're tired and they're not doing their homework, and they can't do their homework. And I'm like, when kids are tired, they can't do their homework. And again, this is for a couple of days, right? Because you threw them off their schedule. But she doesn't see it, and she does it over and over again. And I keep telling her, you have to raise your level of consciousness, because right now you're just operating on your automatic programming, and it's not working out for you. It is not working out for you. But the thing is that they have conditioned black women to not listen to black men. So even when you're giving them good advice, they're not, the type of men they're listening to is the type of men that really don't really care about them. Okay? They really don't really care about them. It's, again, and what they've created is this mindset of, I'm going to date this person because this person is the ideal person, even though this person don't want me. Because this person may make a certain amount, this person is in a certain position, but all they're doing is getting screwed, and that's it. Sex. Yeah, you go out to dinner. It's nothing. If a man makes $100,000, he's taking you out to dinner. It's nothing for him to spend $200 on a meal or $300 on a meal, and you're so impressed with that, right? But you're not the only one. You're not the only one. He's not giving you any sort of commitment. He's not giving you any sort of attention to tell you that he's interested in you for a relationship. But the idea for them in their mind, okay, is that I'd rather have that instead of being in a committed relationship where you're working on yourself, and both of y'all are working on yourself and working on your relationship and making the relationship work. That's not what they want. See, you hear the New York Police Department using their sirens? Because again, this is what they're doing to black men and black women. And black women in particular fail to understand that. Fail to understand that. But yet, they rather be in this type of relationship where it takes away from their mental health, from their physical health. They ignore their children, right? They ignore their home, okay? And then when you try to give them good advice, they ignore you, right? Because they think that, you don't know, they don't have to listen to you, okay? I mean, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, I've dealt with this shit for decades, over a decade with this woman. Even when we were together, I spend so much time, it's like, he's like, it's hard for me to explain, but it's like, this woman has a nursing degree, and yet if the kids are sick, they have to come to me. They have to come to me. But when she's at work, she's great at her job. But when it comes to diagnosing her children, forget it. She was no part of it. Like, I am so surprised that she actually signed the kids up for the extra activities that they're doing. And I'm saying to myself, I keep telling her, I say, put the kids first. Okay? Put the kids first. You don't put no man in front of your kids. Right? And yet she still seems not to understand that because of how she's treated the kids over the past couple of years is the reason why they are the way that they are. Why? Because again, they love to pray. They love to pray to God without any sort of action. Right? Because the Bible tell you, right? Faith without works is dead. That, if you can pray all you want, you can pray, but if you're not doing anything, if you're just waiting, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But this is their mindset. How come every other group of women, they can pray, but they can still get up and they can still work on themselves, they can still work on their relationship, work on their marriage, right? Work on their family. But the Negropean woman cannot. They can't. And they will tell us as black men, or even European men, yeah, you need to go get therapy, right? Yeah, you have mommy issues. That we hear this all the time. Oh, you must hate your mother. Without ever thinking to themselves, well, what about you? Do you have daddy issues? But we as men, we don't say that to our women, because we know the situation in our community, right? We know how toxic mothers can be, particularly the religious. Let me tell you, religious mothers, particularly in the Negropean community, very toxic. Very, very toxic. They let their daughters leave the house dressing anyhow. No self-respect. Right? Because they rather be their friend instead of being their parents. Right? This is what they rather be. They think being their friend is a good thing as opposed to being their parents. You know, I watched a video in the Crimson Crow of a young 18-year-old, you know, short dress, boobs all out. And her aunt had to tell her to go change her clothes. Her mother's sitting right there. Her mother says nothing. It isn't until her aunt said to her, "You're not going to say anything to your daughter about dressing the way that she dressed?" Then the mother was like, "Yeah, you should go change your clothes." Why does it take her sister, this little girl aunt, to say something for the mother to say to her daughter, "You shouldn't dress like that"? And the daughter already has a child. She just had a baby. Right? If you don't understand what is going on in the black community and you're a black person, you know, you're going to raise, and if you have kids, you're going to raise children. You're not going to teach them anything because it is part of your conditioning to not teach them anything. We have to raise our level of consciousness. We have to understand what's going on. The white supremacists, it's attack on us as black people and me as a TI, right? And you as a TI, right? But I always say, if you're a non-black TI, look at, if you really want to see how the U.S. government have become such have such expertise in psychological warfare, psychological manipulation, covert warfare, covert manipulation, look within the black community and see what and how black people behave, how they believe, okay? And that will give you an indication as to the U.S. government ability to manipulate a whole population of people. Because they will always use the black community first, and black men and black women and black children, as part of their ongoing experimentations when it comes to new technology for mind control or behavior control, new technology when it comes to manipulation of a group of people, millions of people, tens of millions of people, okay, before they engage in that type of cognitive warfare against our adversaries. Okay? This is how the United States is the leader in psychological manipulation. They've conducted more psychological experiments and continue to conduct psychological experiments than any other nation on this planet. They have microchipped more individuals, right, than any other nation on this planet. They have used the psychiatry, psychology, and the psychiatric industry, right, to discredit more individuals than any other nation on this planet. They have engaged in environmental warfare against a group of people, particularly black people, right, and also in some cases poor white people, than any other nation on this planet. The United States is the leader when it comes to civil rights violation, human rights violation, right? The leader in waging psychological warfare, covert warfare, environmental warfare, right? Bacterial warfare, virus warfare against its own citizens than any other group, any other nation on this planet. And I am not saying this just to say it. Like I said, go and research it yourself. Go look and see who is creating new viruses, new diseases on this planet. And you'll see it is the United States of America. This is the mindset of the people that are in positions of power, the elites, the wealthy, in order for them to maintain superiority, in order for them to maintain their status and to remain in their status. Right? I just read about New York City Police Department. So the New York City has a police accountability board, okay? And they have done, including the mayor, they have done everything in their power to make sure that 15 seat on the Civilian Complaint Review Board is not filled. What they have engaged in since Mayor Adams became mayor, so Eric Adams became mayor, is to, when cops have been violating the rights of the citizens, okay, is to downplay it, is to not punish these cops, right, and is to lessen the charge of assaults on citizens. No accountability. So when you have a corrupt mayor who have corrupt people in his administration, particularly within the New York Predator Department, which is a corrupt police department since its inception, this is what you get. And it doesn't matter what type of administration you have in there. It doesn't matter what person. They could be black, they could be white, they could be Hispanic, what have you. The grip of those of the wealthy, okay, will always supersede the needs of the people, right? And again, all this money fighting crime, when the solution is to prevent crime. How do you prevent crime? How do you do that? By lowering the poverty rate. Poverty is the biggest indicator, a factor, I should say, of crime. But they can find tens of millions of dollars to buy, robot dogs and all this other nonsense and all this other technology, right? But when these kids get out of school during the summer, there isn't enough summer jobs, right? Which is crucial. If you allow kids to work during the summer, you keep them off the streets. Simple solutions for what they want to call complicated issues. And it's not a complicated issue. It's only complicated because they don't want to fix it and they know how to fix it. But because crime is a multi-billion-dollar industry, the state get hundreds of billions of dollars in funding, right? The police department get hundreds of billions of dollars in funding. So they need to make sure that there's always crime, and they will create the criminal mindset. So you guys need to understand this, okay? They can find over $700 million for migrants, right? If they can find $20 million to expand the summer school program, not the summer schools, the summer job programs for teenagers, right? How many kids is off the street, not hanging out in the street, not getting into trouble, but are actually working so they can have money in their pocket, so they can buy their school clothes, right? So they can buy books, they can buy uniforms, what have you. You know what I'm saying? Have a little bit of recreational money, right? But they don't mention those things. They don't talk about these things. And we in the public are so, they have conditioned us to where we don't even think about these things. That's cognitive warfare on the population. And we don't quite understand these things. When we say, oh, we don't understand what's going on, the reason why you say that you don't understand is because your mind is being conditioned to not think about those things. So we've become more reactionary instead of being preventative. And the people at the top, right? They want it this way. They want it this way. Why? It's to fulfill their sick, psychopathic and sociopathic dark triad personality traits, right? They love conflict. They love the fact that to see us fighting against each other. They love that. They love that. Okay? Your fecal department. The amount of money that they spend targeting me, right? Listen. Because they know what I'm saying is true. They know what I'm saying is true. The amount of money that they spend, right? For example, in Chicago, tens of millions of dollars on the so-called shot identifier, right? When they could have taken that money, right? Job training for young people, right? Employ them. Right? You talk about the city's dirty. Employ them to clean up the city. Right? But again, that's not what they want, because crime is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You don't think they don't have the, if they can spend hundreds of billions of dollars giving it to these private military, right? They can spend billions of dollars, not even hundreds of billions of dollars, billions of dollars, right? Investing in small business, giving companies, subsidizing companies to hire more people, okay? And holding them to that if they're going to receive government subsidies, they need to hire a certain amount of people so that people can have jobs. But this government will give money away, billions of dollars away to corporations with no stipulation. All right? So when they tell you about, like I said, I don't blame people for, like who they call criminals, unless you're a career criminal, But when people become criminals based on their situation, based on survival, I don't look at them as, like these people who run the banks that are stealing, right, laundering hundreds of billions of dollars, right, and they get away with it. Okay, when they're not paying their taxes, when studies have shown that if they pay their taxes, right, some of that money can go to reducing this. Well, I shouldn't even say that, but will go towards helping the people in need, right? Because they love to talk about how the social safety net is bankrupt in America. That's not what bankrupt in America. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the annual expense of the social safety net compared to the increase in military spending, right? The increase in subsidies to big corporations, right? The criminal behavior of the pharmaceutical companies in cheating the taxpayers, cheating the government, okay? And then come back and tell me about the social safety net is bankrupt in America. That is the lie they like to tell the public, and they know that the public is dumb enough to believe it. And so we believe it. But like I said, stop going by what they say, go by what they do. Go look at the statistics. Go look at the research data. Go look at the numbers, and you'll see. And that's the problem, is that, again, particularly in the black community, particularly within the mindset of Negro people, is that they believe every damn thing, right? So white people will have them saying, oh yeah, black women are the welfare queens, you know, and such and blah, 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 right? Well, almost half of welfare goes to white women. Okay? You don't see white people calling white women, single white women with kids, poor white women with kids, welfare queens, but they got your asses calling black women welfare queens. And again, black women only make up 18%, right, of those who get welfare. White women, the majority. Okay? The majority. Close to 50%. Alright? So, anyhow, you guys heard the New York Fecal Department. You know, I'm telling you, if you want to understand how societies rise and fall, look at the behavior of those within the governments and those within the upper classes. Right? They're the ones that have always led to the downfall and the destruction of a society. It's never the people at the bottom. All right? But if you don't know history, you know, then they can keep doing what they're doing and have you blaming yourself and each other for the things that they're doing to cause you to be in the negative conditioning and negative environment and situation that we're living in. All right? Talk to you guys in the next video.